And just like that, 26 weeks done and dusted for the regular season, we head into the final week, the final round of the 2024 NRL season, with 7 of the 8 locked up. The 8th still yet to be decided. We head into the final week with some pretty interesting fixtures. Before we jump in and make some predictions, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we did last week. Now, we had an absolute stinker, saving the worst for last, getting 3 correct picks out of the 8 games played, one of them being a perfect match thanks to the Panthers and Brad Schneider. The other 2 correct picks, the Cowboys to start the week against a super depleted Melbourne Storm side. Not convincing at all, I must say, although I don't want to take anything away from the Storm. They kept it close. Jeremiah and I got over. And our vibe bet of the week, we had a few of those, to be honest, picking a few underdogs. The Warriors. Actually, my highlight of the week was watching that Warriors game. They did it again. I forget the round, but sometime last season they ran down a huge lead against Cronulla at the Shire too. And the same thing happened. SJ's final play of his NRL career, he creates the match-winning play. Nice little feel-good moments after watching my Broncos get absolutely dog-whooped. What else happened? Parramatta versus the Dragons. Parramatta won by 4 points. It was an 84-point match. Such a disappointing end to the regular season for the Dragons, who showed plenty potential throughout the season, but ultimately couldn't deliver where it mattered most. And of course, Sticky's Raiders, man, how good are they? Back-to-back wins against premiership contenders. You can do nothing but tip your hat to Sticky and his men. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what the final round of the regular season holds for us. Check out the team lists and make some picks. And to kick off the final round of the regular season, the Broncos host the Melbourne Storm at, of course, Suncorp Stadium. For the Broncos, they'll be without Brendan Piakura, Kotoni Staggs, Payne Haas, and Xavier Willison. So plenty of outs. Haas forcing Haas to play to potentially save their season. Let's not say force, you know, I'm sure he was keen to play, but knowing that they would most likely be playing a full-strength Melbourne after seeing them rest damn near their whole starting side 2 weeks out was, let's just say, an interesting choice here. Scrolling through this team list, they've got Selwyn Cobo in the centres, Oates back on the wing, Fletcher Baker in the front row, Jaden Hunt in the back row for Piakura, and Kobe Hetherington joins the bench. I am also seeing Reece Walsh here in the number 20. The Storm, they get back all the players they arrested last week. Gato, Grant, Howard, Hughes, King, Asafa Solomona, Meany, Blore, Loyero, Kamikamitha, Warbrick, and now Xavier Coates, who we haven't seen for quite some time. A legit laundry list of returns for the Storm here, as they look to put the final nail into the Brisbane Broncos. And being a Broncos supporter through and through, we are going to take the Storm, of course. Actually, I thought about Pappenhausen, who did go down injured. They've got Sualii starting in the 1 jersey, but that's like, it's not a downgrade or an upgrade, it's more like a side grade, which is still a great thing for the Storm. But yeah, there's nothing much to look at here. Broncos looking battered and bruised. I have zero confidence in an upset for this game. Their personal rivalry isn't a pretty sight either. 41 wins out of 56 played is insanity. Give me the Storm, give me 13 plus, and let's go. With Elias Sagato to score a meat pie, coming up against a fresh left edge of the Broncos with Rogers and now Jaden Hunt. Low-key might be in for more than one. And to kick off Friday's doubleheader, we head over to Campbelltown Sports Stadium, where 16 plays 17 for the dreaded wooden spoon, the Tigers versus the Eels. For the Tigers, one change. I'm seeing Solomon Alaimalo out, so being pushed out to the wing is Junior Dupo, and Josh Flaherty is their new centre. For the Eels, there is a bit of a shuffle here with Kauma Tuilangi back on deck. He's in the starting side, Sean Lane in the front row, and Ofahiki Ogden coming off the pine. They will also be without Jake Tungle, who I see in reserves as Sean Russell makes his way back into the starting 13. In terms of matchups, we should be in for a good game here, as both teams have seemingly found a bit of form at the death of the regular season here. The Tigers coming into this riding back-to-back wins, and Parramatta have been impressive their last couple of weeks as well. Starting games hot, but fizzling out as the game progresses. Looking at the head-to-head, Parramatta have the upper hand, winning 29 out of 47 played, and their previous meetings they're 1-1. Most recently, a 1-point win earlier this season going by way of Wests. That'll be the team I'll be leaning towards in this fixture here. I do think Parramatta will hold the spoon this season. The Tigers, well rested, well, where they have been showing up for their supporters. We'll back them in a close win. We'll go 1-12. Hopefully it's a high scoring game. And to score a try, we'll be jumping on the rookie, young gun, an actual gun, Lockie Galvin. And headlining our Friday night, we have one of the league's oldest, fiercest rivalries here with the Rabbitohs hosting the Roosters. This at a core stadium. Starting with the hosts here, they'll be without Jackie Whiten. So Dean Hawkins gets another run in the 7 while Walker moves to 5'8". They've also dropped Fletcher Myers and Richie Kenner is back in the 17. Looking at the Chooks, plenty of movement here as they'll be without Brandon Smith, Daniel Dubois, Nat Butcher, Sam Walker and Victor Radley. The new faces in the 17, they have Fetalainga Paunga. He'll be on the wing for Dan Dubois. Sandon Smith will don the 7. Connor Watson is the new number 9, whilst Sitili Tuponua goes from the bench to the back row for Radley, as well as Naufahu White in the 13. Plenty of movement here on the bench. They have Zach Doka-Clay, Siwa Wong, De La Salva'a, and Terrell May. As far as picks go, I'll be on the Chooks here. Surprise, surprise. Although I won't put it past the Bunnies to put up a fight here, so we'll go Chooks 1-12. Looking at their history here, in the 51 games played, the Chooks have won 32. They're just a weaker side on paper, to be honest. Their previous meetings in this rivalry haven't been the prettiest for the Bunnies. They've been pumped on both occasions. And I don't mind the replacements in the spine. Sandon Smith, I think, is pretty underrated and unlucky to be behind Sam Walker at the Chooks, so it's good to see him straight in the 7. I'm hoping he's at 100%. Connor Watson in the 9 I do like as well as Naufahu White at 13. As for try scorers here, I really like Ty Munro, but we typically choose a winner and a player from that team, so we'll stay with that formula for now. Maybe next season we'll mix and match. In this game, give me the captain. Give me James Tedesco. The first cab off the ranks for Saturday's triple header will be the Dragons and the Raiders, this being played at Netstrata Jubilee. For the Dragons, I see Sualii back, Bird being shifted to the centres in favour of Lycan King Tongia to start in the 6. They also get Jacob Little back on deck, and Connor Malazan will wear the 14. Looking at the Raiders, they'll be without Whitehead and Rapana, so Simi Sasangi will be starting in the back row. K Weeks at fullback as they get a huge boost to their spine with Ethan Strange and Jamal Fogarty both returning. Looking at the head-to-head, the Raiders are ahead, winning 24 out of 38 played. They've beat them twice last season. This is the first time they're playing each other. Coming into this game with a bit of momentum, back-to-back wins against more than formidable opponents. For the Dragons, just disappointing, but we know what they can do on their good day, so it makes this pick a bit of a head scratcher, right? I thought last week, heading into the Chooks game, the Raiders would run out of steam, but they looked even hungrier, especially when they're down a man for 20 minutes. So who do we pick? Do we back the little momentum the Raiders have at the moment, or potential with what we know the Dragons can do in attack? I think I want to lean towards the side of momentum here, and we'll back the Raiders in. With nothing but pride to play for, one would think that Sticky will have his men up for a strong finish to an otherwise disappointing 2024. For try scorers, you already know who will be targeting in attack, and that is Ben Hunt. I like Strange or Hudson Young, but I will go with Hudson Young. That's Raiders 1-12. We have a banger of an evening game here between the Bulldogs and Cowboys, this being played at Accor Stadium. For the Bulldogs, they'll be without Bronson Xerri and Matt Burton. It's a 1-week ban for Xerri and a Cat 1 head knock for Birdo, so both will be back in time for finals. They do get a major boost with Steve Crichton making his return. He pushes Carraz from the right centre to the left, and filling in for Burton in the halves, Drew Hutchison. For the Cowboys, they've made one change, and it is the man in the number 15, Tommy Mikaele. He's in for Purdue, who drops to 18th man. As for our pick, it's actually another tough game. Burton's a massive loss, his kicking game. If the Cowboys weren't so I don't want to say inconsistent, because they've been winning, but they just haven't been convincing in most of their wins. I low-key don't mind them in this game though against a Matt Burton-less Bulldogs. The Bulldogs could very well grind them out to a win, but we're going to go ahead and take the Cowboys here. One of the better attacking sides when they can get going. Coming up against the number 1 defensive team in the comp, up until last week where Manly made him look, we'll say human. Yeah, give me the Cowboys attack. So that's Cowboys 1-12 points, and for a pie we will go with an outside back. Kinda boring, but let's go with Murray Taulangi. For the final game on Saturday, we'll be heading over to Penrith Park where the Panthers host the Titans. There's one change to the Panthers side as Scott Sorensen makes his way back into the starting side. He'll be in the back row. Luke Garner to the bench and Matt Eisenhuth dropping to 18th man for the Titans. They'll be without David Fifita, who, it says here, will be having surgery on his ankle. So Cleese Haas will be the new left wide running forward. And they'll be debuting Adama Howe. He'll be on the bench. As for our pick, we're going to keep it short and sweet as I do think the Panthers will get by comfortably. For try scorers, we're going to go with Dylan Edwards. We kick off Sunday with a banger between the Sea Eagles and Sharks at 4 Pines Park. So Manly will be without Jason Saab and Tom Dragojevic. Ugola will be their new fullback while Clayton Fa'ulalo will be their new winger. Burbo is the new man on the bench. For the Sharkies, they'll be without, actually it's just additions as they welcome back Jesse Ramian and Ronaldo Mulitalo. They go back to where they usually play. Dan Atkinson will be moving to the bench while Sam Stonestreet will be dropping to reserves. As for our pick, Manly without Turbo, it isn't the end of the world. I do like Tolu Taukola at the back, but what I like even more and what may sway my tipping is Manly at 4 Pines Park. For the Sharks, they're pretty much back to being at full strength, minus Talakai, who is named in reserves by the way, so he could sneak his way back into the 17. Looking at the head-to-head, Manly do have the wood, 22 out of 37 played, and the Sharkies have only won 5 matches out of 17 played at 4 Pines Park. We'll go with the home side here. And to score a try, we're looking for this lad to have a big game, especially with them missing Turbo. That's Daly Cherry Evans. Manly 1-12. And in the final match of the regular season, it's the best possible way to close out a regular season in my opinion, as we essentially get a top 8 playoff where the Newcastle Knights host the Redcliffe Dolphins. Hands down the match of the round. They get back Tyson Frizzell as well as Tyson Gamble. Pierce Paul's also on the ins list, but he's in the jersey number 22. I'm assuming he comes in for Brady Jones. For the Finns, they welcome back Jesse Bromwich and Cody Nikodima. Interestingly enough, Cody Nikodima will be coming off the pine, as Wayne has chose to stick with Avarillo and Sean O'Sullivan. So who do we pick in this crucial game? I do like the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium, but also this new look Dolphins pack is pretty impressive. With Fuller at fullback, the Hammer at centre, Avarillo and Sean O'Sullivan as the halves pairing is insane. Who would have thought that in the final round of the season that would be the halves pairing? A game with so much on the line as well. They've also got Max Plath still in the 9 with Marshall King to come off the pine. Such a huge game, so we're going to lean towards the coach with huge game experience, plenty of it. Ooh, they are the underdogs, the Dolphins. And to score a try, we'll go with the live wire fullback, Trey Fuller. And that about wraps up our tips and predictions for the final round of the regular season. As always, if you have any tips and predictions of your own, let us know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to run it straight at that like button. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you later.